With Bo Horvat of the London Knights. Bo, this past year was a big year for you guys in terms of your draft year. How did you deal with that going through the course of the year?
Yeah, I just tried to, keep it in the back of my mind and just kind of focus on my game and what I had to do to help my team win. Just trying to put the kind of like a draft in the back. Just not think about it too much, and like I said, just focus on the team and focus on winning.
As a group of 16-year-olds, you go to the Memorial Cup final and get within a goal of coming away with the championship. How much experience does that give you, and including last year coming into this year's home challenge of not defending it, but winning again after the 2005 team did it here?
Oh yeah, for sure. Last year was a good year. We always found a way to win. We always came out on top, I guess, if you like to say that. But I've been lucky enough to play on some pretty good teams I've played here, and this is a special year, definitely from hosting the Memorial Cup, and the last time they won it was in this barn. So it should be a really good experience this year, and I think the whole city and plus our team is really excited about it.
So for this year, Vancouver sends you back. What did they tell you to work on when you were down here?
Just kind of keep playing my game. They just said, it's a tough league up there. You can always work on your speed. You can always work on your pace and stuff like that. So I think that was probably the biggest thing, is just speed and pace, and just trying to get ready for next year.
What did you see at camp this year that really stood out to you that you're like, okay, this is what I have to work on to get to that next level?
I just think the work ethic of all of these guys that are on the team and in the NHL. It really was a huge eye opener to what it takes to stay there and to be there and play at that high level. So I think just go back next year in the best shape I can and keep working on my speed, and I think it should be fun.
You played with a lot of great players out here in London. Which one has been the player that you've learned the most from in terms of guys that were older than you? Now you're an older guy on the team, but who was it when you came in that helped you out?
There was lots of guys. Jared Tenorti, Scott Harrington, Austin Watson. They were all great mentors for me. They helped me every step of the way. They showed me how to be a leader on and off the ice, and what it takes to win and stuff like that. And Scott was a great leader on and off the ice, and Austin was great shot blocker. He did whatever it took to win, and Tenor was a great captain as well. So they definitely showed me all those qualities.
You were known as a defensive player, but last year in the playoffs you ended up scoring 16 goals, including the big winner against Barrie. Where did that goal scoring come from? How did it evolve into your game?
Everyone, in my minor midget year and all growing up, I was kind of like that goal scorer and that, the guy that got lots of points and stuff like that. But, this year in the playoffs, you had to do it, what it took to help your team win, right? And that was one of the things that I thought, that could really benefit our team. And I just kind of, tried my best to play my hardest every game in and game out, and if that came with goal scoring, that's a bonus. So I was really fortunate in the playoffs that way. Going
back to that goal with 0.1 second left on the clock and the big long review to see if it was a goal or not, what was the feeling on the bench, and what were you guys thinking in those minutes?
As soon as they tied it up, it was kind of they didn't know it was going to happen, and they almost scored actually right after that to almost kind of win the game in the last minute there. And for Brian to make that play out front and going to Griff getting the puck in, and kind of all that kind of happened, and I was just kind of right there on the doorstep, and it kind of just had to put it in from there, and luckily it crossed the line just with that amount of time left. But it's kind of surreal thinking back on it, and it's definitely something I'll never forget.
Obviously, you and Max are the focal point of this team, but who are the lesser lights that really stand out and people should be keeping an eye out for in this league?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We got a lot of great talent on our team. Our goalie's been playing really well, and Chris Tierney, Josh Anderson, who's won 2 OHL championships too, and the Roops, and I can go on and on. But I think we got a really good core here. A lot of great hockey players, a lot of good guys here. So definitely it's gonna definitely carry over for the rest of the season.
One thing I wanted to talk about was the draft. Obviously, the big trade happens. Were you aware at all that Vancouver was an option for you, especially since they were drafting in the late 20s?
Yeah, I actually had no idea. I had no idea what was going to happen on draft day. You kind of have your teams that you think you might go to, but other than that, I didn't know for sure. And I know when Vancouver made that trade, and I heard my name, it was obviously a huge honor for me to be picked by Vancouver. They're a great organization, one of the best in the NHL. So I was thrilled to be picked by them, but it was a huge shock for me for sure.
Before that, where did you think you were going to go?
I wasn't sure. My agent was saying anywhere from 6 to 20. It varied between there. You never know what can happen on draft day, and I was really fortunate enough to be selected 9 by Vancouver.
So how much longer do you have to work at the Wardsville Golf Club before you get to call it quits?
Yeah, I might have to be calling it quits here soon. Yeah, definitely. I can't wait for next year. That's for sure.
Your family is also deeply rooted into hockey. Uncle Ron has a huge point-scoring record out in England.
Yeah.
How big is that to come from a family that's played the game, and how did it help you prepare for your future in the sport?
Definitely. My dad and my Uncle Ron, and they're big in hockey. They're pretty good hockey players. So what I hear from themselves. So definitely, they taught me a lot. They taught me a lot about the game, and I definitely owe a big thanks to them, and even the rest of my family for supporting me through all this, and I wouldn't be here without them.
One last thing before we let you go, what memories do you have against playing the Generals? Is there anything that stood out in particular?
I think just their work ethic. They're always working nonstop. They got a good power play, and they got a lot of skilled forwards. Scott Lawton, Cole Castles, and Doug Cole, and all those guys that go on and on. But I know they got a really good core, and I think it's gonna be a great game tomorrow night.
You mentioned Dal Cole. What piece of advice do you have for him going into his draft year?
Yeah, just not think about it too much. Kind of put it in the back of your mind, and do the little things that you do best, and the scouts will notice it. And other than that, just focus on winning and helping your team win, and I think you should be fine.
Well, thanks a lot for that, Bo, and best of luck this season and in the Memorial Cup this year.
Thank you very much.